So hello everyone, welcome to the little GitHub workshop. I'm not sure if a couple more people came in, but just to reiterate what GitHub is it's a really nice file kind of workspace for both the industry, for if you're working on a project you want. It's basically going to be uploaded to GitHub so you can work on it through there, add features, fix bugs, etc. All through GitHub. And it's also really good for personal reasons. I use it for myself. I recently used it to share some files with my friends, so I just uploaded it to GitHub, and anyone can go to that kind of link and then download the files there. So just to make sure, does everyone here have an account for GitHub? Did they go ahead and make an account?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yep, I'm all set.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anyone here who doesn't have an account? I maybe should have asked that. I will take that as a no. So I think we're all good. We all have an account. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So GitHub, there are three basically methods with using GitHub. There is using the browser, which is just the link. There is a desktop app with both for window capabilities, and I think there is for Mac, a download for Mac as well. Although I haven't tried it, so I'm not sure how good it is. And then there's Gitbash, which is using basically the command line to use commands to do everything instead of using like the browser or like the GUI desktop app. All right. Also, I'm just going to say real quick, if there's any questions, any struggles, just go ahead and pause me. I don't want to kind of go ahead and leave you behind. So just take note of that. And with that, we'll kind of get started. So if you guys have already made an account, I'm sure you've already went to github.com. So if you have, if you're logged in your account, this is probably what it should look like at some point at either this or maybe another page. But this is basically the page when you click the little cat in the left corner. It takes you to this page, which is kind of all your activity, and it shows all your repositories on your left. And your repositories are basically all your kind of projects, or like it's basically where all your files are. And so there's just a good home page. And if not, this is maybe what it looks like, and this is your profile. So if you click on the top right where you have your little drop-down menu there, it shows you some options, and if you click your profile, it will take you to here. And this is basically the view I use. It has your little overview, and then you can even go ahead and click repositories and some other stuff. Here you can edit your profile too if you want, change your picture and do some other things. So just getting into some of the account settings real quick, just to go over your account. Here you can change some of your things, so your name, bio, etc. And you can go through all these settings to basically make the account yours and change what you want. So getting into the meat and the potatoes, repositories. Repositories are the whole kind of project. It contains basically your whole project. So let's go ahead and try to just start with one. So you should be able to click on your repositories from your profile here, and you should be able to make a new one. So under repositories, there's the green button there that says new repository, and this is the little snippet of what creating a repository looks like. So go ahead and make one so we can use it throughout this workshop, so you guys can work with it and get used to it. So go ahead and give it a name. The one I'm going to be dealing with, I just made mine a test one just for these kind of workshop environments. So go ahead and just, if you want to name it like a test or name it whatever, go ahead and do that. And there's also the option to make it a public repository so that anyone can see it, and anyone can basically download any of the files or look at any of the files on there, or private, where only you can see it, or you choose who can see it and do things to it. And a couple last things, at the bottom is the other initialization options, where you can add a README file, which is just kind of a text file that like shows a description, or it's up to you what you want to write, but basically shows the description for your project, maybe how to use it, some things, but that's usually pretty important. So I always add the README file to it. And a couple of things, there's like the .gitignore file, which will ignore some files for basically some templates. As an example, I use GitHub for a Unity project or a game I was working on in Unity. So for the Unity project, I added the unity.gitignore to just, I don't know, it just did stuff with Unity basically. Make sure it's all set up right. And then lastly is the license. So if you're working in the industry, this license is not going to be like a free to use. Like it'll probably have some copyright or some other thing, and that is the last option. So we good so far? Cool. All right. So yeah, go ahead and create the repository, and let me pull up my thing. Which one are you? Oh, I'm on it. Okay. So just to show you, yes, so I'm going to go ahead. And so this is my repository I've created. So hopefully yours looks a little something like this. And this is the README file right here where it just, again, this is just a test, but this is where you'd put information for what the project is, how to use it, etc. And so just a couple notes at the top there. There's kind of all your options where it says code, issues, pull requests, things blah blah up to settings, and those are just the different tabs for the specific repository. Right now you're probably in the code tab, and this is obviously where all the code is. So if you just below that, if you see the little gray box there, it says master. That refers to the branches of the repository, and right now you probably only have one, being the master branch or like the main branch. Relating to the industry, this would be your production level branch. This is the stuff that's being run. So let's say you have a website, like this is what the website is currently at. So when you go to the website, like that directly relates to the current version of the website. And then below that shows basically all all your code. So all your folders, all your files. So as you can see just in this little snippet, I have a couple folders, and then there's that README file, and then I have an example file there. And we're just gonna, for today, we're just gonna work with text files. And I think I have a screenshot later of all the files, but I think it can support many different kind of files. So all your code files, CPP files, Java files, Python files, games, Unity, Unreal, etc. I've even uploaded audio files like .wav files and stuff too. So. Just like kind of your file explorer, you can go inside the folders and you can have, nested folders, etc. And this is just a quick example of a text file within a folder. And then you can even go, and through the browser, you can actually go into the files or both the folders and the files you have, and you can directly edit them and do stuff with them there. So I think one of my arrows got messed up, but you should be able to see some of these options on the right. One of them is like the little computer that will open up this file in your in GitHub desktop. We'll get to that later. Another one will copy the file. Another one when you can edit the file with a pencil that will allow you to edit it, and then of course the trash to delete the file. So I guess first, let me just back up and let's just go ahead and add a file. So back here, next to the little green button here where it says code, there should be a add file button. So let's just go ahead and try to add a file. So you can create a new file here and just go ahead and give your file a name. So just text, and this is some sweet text. And so you can do it here. So if you have code you want to copy, or if you want to just have a text file, etc., you can do it all through here through the browser. And then at the bottom, it will show you the commit, just to kind of quickly show that. So here just shows that again, where you can create the new file, where you can either create a file or even upload a file from your machine to the browser. The thing with uploading to the browser is there is a pretty small limitation on the file size. So that is kind of the one limitation with using the browser, and why it's I would recommend using either the desktop app or Gitbash, which we'll get into quickly later. And then once you have that, in order to save your changes, in order to commit these changes, in order for them to be uploaded to GitHub, like for them to be there, at the bottom here, it shows the little commit thing. So this is where you want to have a little description. So since we created a file, just make it something like created new file called whatever, and then just give it a little description. And here is just another box for more description. So let's say you're adding a whole bunch of files or etc., just to make it everything clear and organized, and so that if something goes wrong, you can find all this documented information, so that you know, okay, this is when I added this new file, etc., whatever the case might be. And then here we're going to commit directly to the master branch because we have not dealt with branches yet, so we're just going to deal with the one. And that's all you have to do. You just kind of hit commit new file, and boom, there it is. So now there it is. So if I share this link with you guys, you would see the same file on your end as well. I guess because, well, it's not really your end, it's just through GitHub, but and yeah, and so that's the basics for creating a file through the browser. And any questions so far? We good? We following? Cool. All right. Again, this is just showing it, and so these are a good, a decent list of, I guess, all the files. So PNG files, GIF files, whatever, all kind of image files, all kind of Microsoft files, whatever, text files, PDF, zip, video, and even more. I'm not sure if there's a full list. I don't know if it really supports every single file, but I think every file I have used personally, it's worked with. So once you go ahead and commit that, it's saved. And getting on to the branches. So again, we've only dealt with the master branch so far, which is like the production level one. So if you're trying to add a new feature, if you're trying to fix a bug, if you're trying to change something, let's say you have a website and the background is blue, and you want to make sure you want to change it to red, let's say, and you want to make sure it all works, you want to make a branch to make sure that when you make that change, it doesn't break anything, it doesn't, basically break the production level code. And so having a branch is just a nice way to kind of test all that, make sure it's all good before taking this branch and essentially merging it with the master branch, right? To merge the changes to the production level. So if you guys want to go ahead and create another new file real quick, so we can mess with the branches on the browser, just go ahead and let's just make another new file real quick. Just call this branch.txt for the new branch, and we'll just do that for now. And then down here, create branch file, and then we're going to go ahead and hit create a new branch. And so now we are going to go ahead and add a name. So we'll just go test branch 1 or something. And now we can go ahead, and when we're adding this, we can propose this new file under this new branch. All right, and let me just continue following my flow here. So once you've gone ahead and do that, it'll give you this open a pull request screen. And this is basically kind of the screen that shows between the two branches. So we have the master branch up here, and then it shows this other branch. And it shows we're all good, there are no conflicts, there are no problems, and we are able to merge. So, just going back. So I believe this is the screen that just shows, and if we go back to code, we can see under here, if we click on master, it's going to show all our branches, and so here's this new branch we've just created. And so if we quickly show, we only have 2 files here in master, and under this new branch here, we have another file that we just created there. So now we have 2 different branches that we're working with, so one being like the test kind of a scenario. All right, and so once you have branches, basically you want to request a pull or request a merge to whoever the owner is of the thing. Consider, just in the industry, right, you probably won't have the privileges or whatever to merge it and stuff. Like you'll just be working on it, upload to this branch, and then when it's ready to merge to the new version or whatever, whoever will do that will allow you to merge and basically, yeah, just merge all the new code to the master branch. So there's just a couple tabs. There's this conversation tab that shows basically the history of the branch, and then there's the commits. So let me go ahead and show that. So if we go up here to pull requests, should be there. Oh, maybe I have to click this. Anyway. Oh, sorry, I forgot to create the pull request. So once you do this, you do have to create it, and then once you do that, it takes you to here. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So what I did was I just went back to code or pull request, and it mentioned that there was one, and now this pull request is open so that it's ready to be merged. So again, this is just a little history of what happened, and then here are the commits. So we've committed one time, which was creating the one file, and then there's a couple other ones that we'll check, and then here's your files changed. So we've added a new one. So with GitHub, the three kind of colors are like blue means no change, green means a new change or like an add, and then a red means like delete. So just those simple three colors. All right. And again, this just shows up. And yeah, so now when you are all ready to merge, you can, there's that green button that says merge pull request, and under those, there's three options where you can create the merge commit, and then two other ones being squash and merge or rebase and merge. We're just gonna deal with create and merge right now, as it's good for introduction. So merging, once you go ahead and click on create and merge commit, this is what it should look like. And I'll go through that in a sec. Let me just go through the PowerPoint. So it should pull that up. And yeah. All right, just going back. You can go back to the pull request here, go back to here, and then here is that button to merge. And so we're just going to go ahead and do that, create a merge request. And this is basically just more descriptions for more clarity and for more history and just organization to make sure of all that. And I'm just going to hit confirm merge. And our pull request was successfully merged and closed. So because I'm the owner of this and because you are the owner of this, you were able to both create the branch and to merge it. But again, kind of, when you're working with other people in the team or whatever, someone else might have the access to do this. And because of that, we can go ahead and even delete this branch. I'm just going to go ahead and restore it for now because I'm going to continue to use it for the other ones. So if we go back to code here on the browser, we can see that our master branch now has those three files. We merged basically the test branch here, those three files, we merged that with our master. So now it's up to date. And with that, I think that's pretty much it. That covers it, at least for the browser and for the basics of working with GitHub. That kind of flow is similar with the desktop and with the Gitbash. It's just a different way of doing it. So, are there any questions so far with basically using GitHub, at least through the browser?
Yeah, for students who probably just made their GitHub, can you show how to get it to the dark mode?
Oh, I think it's somewhere here in settings. Appearance. So if you go to settings, so a little drop down menu here, you just go to settings. Here are all your themes under the appearance here. Mine is just, I just click the dark theme or dark dimmed. And yeah, and there's a whole bunch of other ones here, but so that is there.
Awesome.
Yeah, but maybe you guys could take some time on your own to go through all these options or to go through all the settings to kind of figure things out, like emails, and passwords, etc. So, all right. Any other questions? Is everyone good? What could everyone follow? All right.
Yep,
I'm
I think we're good.
all right. I'm going to go ahead and then move on to GitHub Desktop. So GitHub Desktop is basically the way I kind of use GitHub. I'm not a huge command line guy, but GitHub Desktop basically has a really nice UI, and in my opinion, it has a really easy flow and a very comfortable flow, because it's essentially just using a folder on your computer, usually in your documents somewhere, and it just creates a folder called GitHub, and in that folder, it will have all your repositories, which are also folders. And with that, you can just do what you do, move files between other folders to this folder, and specifically in this folder is the one that's linked to the repository. So just to go back real quick, if for those who want to follow along, go back to this link here, desktop.github. Let me paste that in resources too, just for easy access. But you guys can go ahead and click that link, and I went ahead and just downloaded that for Windows. There might be, there's a other option for Mac and stuff, but I just went ahead and downloaded that for Windows. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to do that for those who want. But yeah, if you don't really like to use a UI, or if you're comfortable with the command line, then there will be the Gitbash, which we'll go over in a little bit. And I'll try to go faster. Maybe I won't. I don't really care about the timing, so if you guys want to sit here and chill while we finish this out, I don't really mind, because there is quite a bit of information. So, and I think once you have it downloaded, it should be quite simple, but it might ask you to sign in as well, so go ahead and sign in if you do have it downloaded. And just let me know for those who are downloading when you have it downloaded, or if you have a question.
I actually did have a quick question about the previous part.
Mm-hmm.
I might have just gotten distracted and missed a thing, but for the new file for the branch document, I was having a thing where it says propose new file, kind of at the bottom, like after.
Right. Let me.
Yeah. And that was kind of not grayed out, but not clickable when I said create new branch for this commit, and I added a name to it.
Okay.
Are we committing, or this is where I might have missed something.
Mm-hmm.
Did we need to do something before to create the branch first, and then create the text file?
No, it should allow you to do it. The way I showed it, I can just show it again real quick. Maybe I can just go back. Okay. So when I did that, here, I can just show it again real quick. As soon as I hit that, it's green for me. Did you fill everything out? Maybe.
Right. I just realized I totally missed the title at the top. Yeah, we're all good.
Okay. So yeah, I might have missed that. There you go.
Yes, I did.
All right.
Cool.
All right. So for those who have it downloaded, this is what it should look like once you kind of sign in. Let me do the slideshow again. And first thing, again, I forgot to do that before, but you can go ahead and if you go to File and Options, under Appearance, you can change it to dark mode, which we all love. So if you want to do that, you can go ahead and do that. But getting into it now, here are just a couple other options while we're here. So this will show, it has an account, it'll show your account, so you can either sign in or sign out. And then just another one for integration. So for me, one editor I use is Notepad++, so that's just the one that kind of is linked, I guess, with the desktop, and even a shell. So if you want to mess with that, and then just again some other options, the Git options for your name, your account name, and your email, and even just a couple other options for the default branch for your new repositories. All right. Oh, maybe, sorry, that just kind of sparked something in me. I think in the default branch, maybe you want to click master there. But otherwise, I think that would just be the name of it. It won't. I don't think it'll really matter. It's just when I did this before, theirs was named main instead of master, and I think that's why. And then just a couple other advanced and other things. But you can go ahead and look through all those. So very similar flow to the browser. So just under file, you can go ahead and add a new repository, which will create a new one to your local machine. Or you can add a local repository. So let's say you already have a project, a folder, a file already made on your computer, and you want to take that and add it to a repository to GitHub, do that. Or you can go ahead and clone a repository. So considering we just made one on the GitHub browser, that is what we're going to go ahead and try. So if we go back to the browser real quick, under this green button here on code, it shows us a couple things where you can either hit open with GitHub, or we're going to go ahead and copy this link. And with this copied link, we can go to our GitHub desktop. Get a nice. All right. And just under file, we'll go ahead and clone our repository. So all we have to do then is not that. There's a couple options there. So it shows you all the ones you already have in linked to your account. So you can either choose from here, or you can go to URL here, which is that URL we just copied. And that's right. So I already have one, so I can't clone it. I thought I deleted it, but I guess just to show that real quick, I literally can just delete this, and then I can just clone it again. So let me just show what I redid. So I accidentally already had it, but so I can just go ahead and literally just delete this folder here, and then when I go back and go to file here, I can just clone. And so again, here's the github.com, which are the ones that are all linked, so you can choose the repository here, or with the link copied here from the browser, you can just go ahead and paste that here, and go ahead and clone that guy again. And so again, just showing the three options. I already just went through that. All right, and so this is what it looks like. So with your repo, you probably have that current repo open. It should say that current repo. And then if you want, you can hit show in Explorer, and that should open up your file explorer. So if I'm using Windows, it opens up my Windows File Explorer and shows basically that whole repo. So all the folders, all the files, and even the .git kind of special files to make sure it's a GitHub repo. So again, just clicking show in Explorer, it just brings up my little thing, and it has all my files. So it has that test file I've already had, and it has that branch text we just added. All right, everyone following so far? Okay, so if let's say so you're working in a team, and let's say someone else made a change, right? So this is your copy now on your machine. So let's say someone else made a change and they uploaded it to GitHub, and you have a different version now on your local machine. In order to grab all those changes, so in order to basically fetch the current version, there's the fetch origin button up top there, and if you click that, it will kind of fetch all the changes. And then when you do that, it'll pop up another option here. Right now it says no local changes, but if there are changes, it'll say basically to pull those changes. And this is kind of just what some changes look like. So when you have some changes, again, the red is something that's deleted, and then green is something that's new. So I've changed basically just all those, and it just shows the whole history. So as you can see, there's a bunch of history for this specific repo. And it has the whole history. And that is just under the Histories tab. As you can see, there's changes and then history. And again, just going back to the branches, there's the little middle option here where you can click to view all your branches. And in this repo, we have quite a bunch of branches. So pulling mine up. So if we go here, it has both one I've created a bit ago, and then this test branch we just did. And because I only have the master branch, and because I just changed it to the test branch, I'm going to go ahead and now pull this. and you got to be careful, I guess, with this. I mean, not really, because all the changes are saved on GitHub, but this will, I think, overwrite your local folder. So right now, my folder here, this is the master branch, and as soon as I hit create pull request, oh well. Anyway, it should pull it up, but I think it's because I already did it. It already went through, but that is basically how you can just switch between the branches through desktop. And we're just gonna go back to the master branch. And so now, let me go back to my thing. All right, so now, just like we do with our file explorer, you can click new, you can add a folder, you can add a text file. So let's go desktop file, and you just add it directly into this thing. And so you can see it's under GitHub, and then this is our repo name. So everyone able to kind of follow that, see how that works. It just works exactly like whatever file explorer you're using. And so you can drag stuff, copy to paste things into here, just like any other functions you'd use in your file explorer. So since we have added this extra file in the desktop app now, it shows that we have one change. We've added this file. The file doesn't say anything. If we want, we can add something to it, but I think you get the point that we've made a change now. And now with this change on our local machine, we want to go ahead and commit it to whatever branch you're in. We're sticking with the master for now. So we're going to go ahead and now commit these changes to the master branch. So just to show real quick, if we're in the master branch on the browser, we have 3 files currently. If we go ahead and do the commit, we're going to do the same thing, write a little description of what it is, create a desktop file. You can add more description, and then we're going to go ahead and hit commit. And now that we have committed these changes, we have one last thing to do, which is to push these changes to the master branch, to the origin, to the cloud or whatever, however GitHub does it, right? The server that holds all your info, all your data. So we should go ahead and hit push. And so now it pushes basically this whole folder. So any changes we've made in this folder, it showed up here, and we pushed them all. So real quick, getting back, so we've pushed all our changes. So if I go ahead and just reload, and now it shows it. So now in our repo, we're all up to date. Again, this is like the link, so you can share it with people, you can share it with your team, etc. And this is the current up-to-date stuff. Cool. So heading into the last one, Gitbash. Let me post this in the resources again. So let me post this link. So if you want to go ahead and download Gitbash, if you don't have it, it's in the resources channel. And again, for everyone else who joined, in the resources channel is the PowerPoint for this, so you can follow along or look and refer back to it in the future. So Gitbash is a bit more complex. It's not maybe more complicated. There's just a couple more things to do, and I feel like a lot of people maybe aren't comfortable with the command line, so it's a new environment you may be working in. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to go to the website. Actually, while we're doing that, I'm going to just show you the recording that I already have, because since I already have it downloaded, I don't want to kind of do with all that again. So here's just a recording of me going through the install. So there's just a website, and there's a couple things for Windows, and I think there was one for both Mac and for Linux. So should work for all OSs, but again, I'm working with Windows. I'll wait for you guys. There's a couple things to go through with the Gitbash downloaded. So once you just have it open and you run it, we'll leave it open, and I will wait for whoever. Just let me know when you're ready to move on. So hopefully once you open up, I think it's just the .exe, the installer. This is what you should see, and this is just the license. So you can just kind of go ahead and skip through this. Let me speed this up just a tiny bit. So you can just go ahead and skip through that, and then you want to go ahead and install it wherever you want to install it in your local machine. And this is just like the actual application for Gitbash, not like where your files go or anything. So just, yeah, where you keep all your program files usually. And then there's all these components that also come with Gitbash, and this is up for you to select. I don't want the icon on my desktop, so I'll leave that blank, and then I basically just leave it as defaults. There's some other stuff to look into, but the default is good enough. And with that, I also just leave this one default, just leave it as a Git, but this is just a shortcut. And then here is where I can choose your default editor. So there's all these options here, so you can, whatever you're comfortable with in a text editor or IDE or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. If you do use VS Code, I know there's like some other GitHub stuff with VS Code, but this is just that, so go ahead and choose it. I just choose mine as Notepad++. And then the next one, again, I just kind of leave it default, but just to make sure you guys are doing it all good. So yeah, I just leave mine as default, but there is another option to basically override names, but we're just gonna leave it default, meaning all the branches will be called, or the default branch will be called master. And again here, I'm gonna leave it at the recommended option, as you can use third-party software or other things like using Git and Gitbash only, or using Git and maybe some other Unix tools or whatever with the command prompt. But I just leave mine as recommended, and what I'll go through is using the recommended Gitbash as well. So, and again, just leave this one default, just use the bundled one. Again, for the next one, just leave it default with the OpenSSL library. And since I'm using Windows, I'm just going to use this Windows style, which for me was the recommended one. But maybe if you're comfortable with other options, you can go ahead and try to click those. But maybe for now, just stick with the same one I'm doing so you can follow along. All right, so when I downloaded mine, I actually did switch mine to the Windows default console window. But I don't think it'll make a huge difference. Sorry about that. I forgot how I downloaded it, which is why I wanted to go through this recording of it. So I actually do use the Windows, and then again just leave all this. So the default behavior of Git pull, I just leave it as default. And credential helper, I just think I click none because I don't care about that. And then I just leave this as default as well. And leave those guys blank, and that should be the last option, and you can finally install after going through all those options. So, was everyone able to kind of follow everyone installing right now? So once it's downloaded, it should give you the option to go ahead and open it up. So I guess while it is downloading, we're going to go through just some of the basic commands because there's a lot. First, just to ask who has used like any terminal, or who knows any kind of terminal commands, like the Windows command prompt, for example.
A little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, just
In Linux, basically, a lot.
All right. So there's a lot of different similarities between Linux, obviously, but for those who are still quite new, there's quite a bunch of commands. So just going through some, hopefully while it's still installing. I guess let me just pull it up and I can show you some of them. So this is just kind of what it would look like. And again, it's just a terminal, so this is just basically only text. So to do a command, and let's say to change your directory, so let's say to change maybe your folder, to change your drive, a couple things like that, you just want to hit CD. And so just following this other one, to go back, let's say you're in something, you're in a folder and you can go in a go back one, you do CD space ... And when you do that, that will allow you to go back. And then to change drives, you do CD and then you do /, whatever the drive letter is. So currently for me, I have my GitHub files in my home, which is my H file. So I have it in H, in my documents folder, in my GitHub folder, in my repo folder called GitHub test. So we have to type all that out. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and change my drive to my H drive. And so now I should be in my H drive. So if I go ahead and now type dir, this will show all the directories, or basically all the folders and or files, or just kind of everything that's in there. So if I go ahead and do that, it shows all that. I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to clear that before. So you can type clear to basically clear the prompt. But now you want to go in those directories, so I'm going to go to documents, spell it right. You have to spell it right, and then /, and then it's called GitHub, and then I name GitHub test. So whatever your repo is, you want that to be kind of your last thing. And when you go ahead and cd, it should bring you into your directory there. So everyone following so far?
I have a question.
Yes.
Here in Linux, basically there is autocomplete with tab key. It gonna work here also or not?
I do believe so. So if you do documents, maybe not. It might be, I don't know, it might be a special thing. I think there was a way to do it, but if you're using Linux, I guess you can go ahead and use it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And also just a couple other things. The arrow keys, you can go up to use a previous command you just used, or like scroll back down. So just a quick little thing, you can use those arrow keys to use a previous one. So in the future, I'm sure something might go wrong. So instead of typing it all out again, you can just scroll up and do that. All right, is everyone good? Is everyone in their GitHub repo?
Almost.
Yep.
Yes. Good.
All right.
I am not. It's saying that there's no such file in the directory. For you're in your H drive, right? But
Right.
for us, it'll be whatever drive.
It'll
we're
be
using.
whatever drive that. So yeah. So just to make sure. So when I downloaded GitHub desktop, this is where I kind of made this GitHub file, and this GitHub file is specific to GitHub. And so yes, mine will be in. This is my H drive. So if you haven't done that, I don't think I thought about that. So, sorry, when I made this, it was like everyone was kind of following along. But so do you have the GitHub folder somewhere? Like, did you?
Yeah, I have it there, and for me, it's in a C drive.
Okay.
And there's a couple more like folders there. So do I just want to use all of the folders, just excluding the C drive?
So, just go in your file explorer. Just kind of follow the path. So go to your C drive, and then click on the specific folders to get to your GitHub folder. And what you can do then is just, if you click on it, are you using Windows?
I'm using Windows, yeah.
All right. So if you click on it like this, it'll show you like the actual path here.
And so I'm selecting just everything up to the H, but without the / after it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can do it all in one. I just kind of showed the difference,
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then you just do you do / file or folder name and continue on. So in your GitHub folder, you probably should only have one other folder of the repo you have just created.
Hey Ethan, are we uploading a branch to GitHub from the terminal right now?
We will be.
But, right on, because I know how important that can be in classes and stuff.
Yeah, so. As for now, we're just dealing with the one repo we've made, which it does have branches, but right now we're only dealing with the master branch, and then I'll get into the branches in a little bit. So again, just confirmation, everyone who's following along and who's like doing this on your own computer, just please let me know if you are in your repo, And to tell if you're in your repo, it should say master. There should be a blue thing. It might say main. But yeah, there should be basically a blue thing here that indicates that.
Actually, the slashes are in the other direction.
That's actually why. Yeah. Okay. That's
Now
why.
that you mention it. Yeah.
So you can go ahead and
That's the
yeah.
thing.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually don't know why it's like that. Okay. Anyway, so
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the command prompt, you have to use the /. Cool. I will take that as a yes for everyone else as well. All right. And just going through a couple more things before we continue on. A couple other ones. So if you want to make a directory, which will make a folder. So just like here, if I'm in my repo, I can right click and hit new folder. That's essentially what mkdir is, make directory. So if I do that and then type folder name, that will add this name as a folder into your repo. So again, we're working all within the contents of the repo. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. I'll just make a folder. So first off, let's check the directory. So in our master branch, we can just type dir, and this should show us everything we have in our directory. Just like it shows in this browser here, it shows just our 4 simple files. And so now we can do make directory and make a folder, and we'll name it folder name. And that does that. If we go ahead and do direct again, we can see folder name there. And maybe this is where some naming scheme comes into, but as you can see, these other ones, you can see that they're files as their .text. So because I named it folder name, it's a bit more clear that this is just a folder. And even so through there, again, you can even go into the folder. So now we are in the folder of the repo, and there's nothing in there, so it won't show anything. And to go back, we just do cd space ... And that goes up just one level, one folder. And just a couple other ones if you want to remove a file or remove a directory. Just to show you guys, maybe you guys don't have to do this since I have a couple files already. I can just remove and then put the file name. So let's just do desktop file .text. So just type the file name, do rm file name, and that should delete it. And now my desktop file is gone. Was there, but now it's gone. And you can also do the same thing for the folder. So just to showcase that, just do remove directory and then type in your name there, folder name. And now my folder is also gone. And again, as a reminder, this is all on your local machine. So this is all just working with your local files. If we go, just to show, reload this, it's still all here on GitHub. And then again, last thing is, another one is clear. I'll maybe give you a sec, but if you type clear, it'll clear your, it'll just clear the command here to basically wipe it all away, start from a clean slate. So just to show our directory again, now we have 2 files and the README file. So one last thing with maybe adding a file is using the echo command. And I'm not super versed, because again I use more desktop. So if you have a specific question with this, I'll look it up. But in order to basically just create a file right here on the fly, we can just do echo, and then using the string, the quotes to do a string here, you can enter the contents of the file. So maybe you can copy your contents from the file, paste it here. I think that might work as well. And then basically in that string or in those quotes there, that will be the contents of the actual file. And then you use one right arrow caret, and then you're going to go ahead and give it a name. So this will be the file name. So let's just do data.txt. So now we're going to basically create this file called data.txt, and it will have here you can enter the contents of the file. So when we do that, we can see we've created data.txt, and you can either open it in your file explorer to view it, however you want to do it, but to use the command line, you can use cat, and then you can use data.text, and it shows what's in the file. So we wrote here, you can enter the contents, and there it shows that that's what we wrote, and that is what is in the file. All right, those are the basic commands. Any questions on those basic commands before we get into the hefty Git commands?
What is cat short for?
I'm not sure. You can probably look it up. I can look it up if you want. Cat command. I'm not sure if it stands for something or if it's just that's what it's called. Oh, there we go. Concatenate.
Yeah. For displaying
Alright,
content.
cool, thanks.
Yeah. All right. There is a very hefty amount of Git commands, but we're gonna go over just several, more than several. I don't know, dozens. Okay, a dozen or so. I think somewhere in this PowerPoint I link. I think maybe it was up front. Somewhere. Oh, here. There is documentation for all of the Gitbash, all the Git commands, and everything, how to do them. But these are just the, I don't know, more important ones that actually kind of show you the flow and how it all works. So, starting from the top, just typing git init. So let's say you didn't have a repo on your browser. Let's say you didn't have a repo from GitHub Desktop. You're just starting from a clean slate. You could do this command, and this will create a repo in your local machine. So you want to go into whatever directory or folder you want it to be in, and then you would go ahead and run this command, and this will initialize. I believe the way it works, it'll initialize the folder you're in as like the repo as your machine. And basically what that does is, if I pull this up, I think it'll add this .git basically folder, which just has GitHub like files or whatever. It'll basically kind of add that and just initialize it ready, basically making it ready for you to use as a repo. All right, one thing we've already went through is Git cloning. So now to clone a repo, again, this repo must exist. So we can do the same thing and go back to our browser here and copy this repo. So I think for you, Josh, you said you joined late. Do you have a GitHub account? I should have asked. All right, another one, git branch. You can go ahead and type this, and what this will do will show you what branch you're currently in. Because we've created that test branch from before, it shows us our master branch, the one we're in, and that test branch we created. So let's say you're using Gitbash to create a new branch. You can go ahead and type git branch, and then just the name. I don't know if you need strings. I think I just did that, but if you do git branch, and then just branch name, I'll just go ahead and do it. It should create that new branch. And so there we go. Now we have 3 branches. We have the master, we just created branch name, and then from before we've created test branch. I guess we'll kind of continue, and so we'll actually switch into a branch. So go ahead and create a branch real quick. And once you create one, you're going to type git switch, and this will allow you to switch into a branch. So I forgot to put the name, so git switch, and then put the name of the branch here. So let's say we want to go into test branch 1. If we do this, we are now in this branch. So if we type in git branch again to check, now that one is green, and that shows we are currently in a different branch, and it also tells us in this little blue. So that is how to create a branch and how to switch in a branch. And because we're in a branch, now we can kind of mess with whatever we want. If we're adding a feature, changing stuff, fixing a bug, do whatever we want, and we should be a-okay because we're not messing with the master, right? The production level branch, right? The production level code. All right, just going quickly through these couple ones. There's git add -a. This will add all changes. We'll go through that in a sec. There is git status. That shows you the status. Let's say after you've maybe added one. And then git commit, like before. This will commit all the changes to the branch. But along with git commit, you will usually want to do -m, and -m will send a message with it. So like we did before, you want to write a message for clarity and for organization, your description of all the commits. And specifically with Gitbash, with the browser and desktop, you usually can only commit like one change. But with Gitbash, you can add as many changes as you want and then commit all those in one at once. So you really want to have a message to be very descriptive of everything you're adding, for version history and etc. And then git merge, when we get to there, it will merge this branch, the changes in this branch, to the master branch, so that you can update the production level stuff. Some other ones are git push. This will basically push all the commits, so all the changes you have, and then git pull. So let's say changes were made on GitHub, and you have a previous version, whatever previous changes on your machine, you do git pull to pull all the new changes to update your existing local machine. All right. I guess I'll quickly just go through some of these, some of this PowerPoint. That just goes some stuff on directory. This is what a command usually looks like. I think we're pretty comfortable with that. All right. And with Gitbash, there are 3 states of the files. So right now we're kind of in the working directory. We haven't added anything, we haven't committed anything, we haven't done anything like that. So we're just in this working directory. Once we do the command git add -a, it will take all of our changes, it will add them to what's called the staging area. So this is kind of like holding all your changes. So you can add as many as you want, like I said before. So it can be 1 change, it can be 50 changes, and those will all be held in your staging area. In your staging area, you can use git status, and that will tell you the status of all those files in that staging area. Once you're ready to commit, and you're ready to commit all those at once, then you can commit and do git commit .-m again, using your writing a little message description, and then that will commit it to the repository. So that will commit the changes, and then the last thing after that being once they're committed, you will push the changes, and we'll get into that, just going through some of these slides. So we've kind of already done through this. I guess if you...
Can I ask a question here?
Yes.
Can you go back to that staging? Yeah. Here, basically, these 3 stages are all local. Is it correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All
So
of this
after
is
this-
local. Yeah.
Yeah. After this blue step, then we're gonna push it, for example,
Right,
to
right.
the.
So
Okay,
so
thank
just to kind of reiterate, everything you're doing is local until you push it. As soon as you push it, that is taking everything from your local machine, pushing it to GitHub in the cloud. That will change it from your browser. That'll change it on any machine that has or whatever, right? So if you want to use it on another machine, then you can clone that current repo or that updated repo, right? And then you can use it everything on a different machine, etc. I'll kind of show through all that again.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we've kind of already got through this. So this is what git push would look like. So once we commit everything, it's all saved into our local repository. Then we do git push, and that pushes it to GitHub. Again, if there are changes on GitHub that are different from here, we're in a previous version, we can use the opposite command, git pull. That'll take everything from here and pull all the changes to our local copy. One thing with git push is recently they've added a security measure. Instead of using your account name and password, you'll use an account name and a personal access token. So we'll get to that in a bit, but just so you know, you'll have to go through the browser to go to settings, developer settings, and personal access tokens here, and here, and then you will want to generate one, but we'll get that into a bit. So just going through git pull up again, let's say your teammate updated stuff, added a new feature, you don't have that feature on your local machine, they push it to GitHub, from GitHub, you pull it from GitHub, and now all you guys are on the same page. So both you have the updated project, your teammate has the updated project, and GitHub has an updated project. And with that, I think I'm going to go through the whole example, just seeing if there's anything else. And since we're working in a branch, after we push it, we're going to merge as well. But yeah, and then I guess just here in PowerPoint are some resources and some other notes on some conflicts and some other stuff in case those come up. So the point, maybe I kind of skipped a huge thing. The point with using GitHub is because you're working on different, in a team or whatever, you're working on different kind of versions maybe. If you do something, if you add a feature, if you add something, you change something, someone else is also working on that same one and adds something and changes something. If you both try to commit and maybe you both change the same thing, there might be a problem, right? And so using GitHub, it will tell you, like, it can't, these updates don't work. There's a conflict issue with something. So it's basically a safety kind of measure. I guess that's a way to put it. It's just there's a safety kind of thing so that if there's any issues, it won't break your code immediately. Maybe in some cases, I don't know everything. I'm not a industry. I don't work in industry, but yeah, there is a bit of a safety thing with that. So let's get started with this thing. So we should all have a repo. We should all have an extra branch. And so let's go ahead and just kind of go through an example. So again, this is my test branch. Just to show again real quick, I'm just going to switch back to my master. And so in my test branch, I only have 4 files. In my master branch, I have 5. So my test branch is different than my master, but that will be fine. Just going back. Type it right. Make sure to type it right. All right, and now we're back in here. And so let's go ahead and just make another file so we can see the changes and how it works and the changes from a branch and merging a branch, etc. So if we just go ahead, new data in file. So again, this is the contents in the file. We're going to do right arrow and give this new file a name. All right, I give it a name. So now we have an extra file in our test branch. And so if we go ahead and just to do something, you can get status, and it shows that so far it's up to date except for those 2 files. All right, so since we've created a file, we're going to go through these 3 stages now, and we're going to go ahead and do git add space -A. And what this will do, we'll kind of add all those changes to the staging area. So now if we do git status, this will tell us the thing, and we've added the new file of data and this other new file of data of everything. So we've added basically all our changes to the staging area. So we're kind of in the middle step right now, and this is where you can add multiple things. So let's say you can create more folders, more files, add more stuff. Do git add -A, it'll add everything, and it'll just add it to the staging area. And again, use git status to make sure everything, to basically show everything that is stored in the staging area. And with the staging area, now we can go ahead and commit this. So now this will commit the change. So we do -M, and now give it a little message. Adding 2 new files of data. And again, with the description, you want to be kind of descriptive, but we're just doing pretty basic stuff right now. So just something like that. And we can go ahead and commit. And we can see that 2 files changed. There were 2 insertions, where we created a file data.txt and created another file data of everything.txt. And if we do git status, it shows there's nothing. We've committed everything from our staging area to our repository. So there's nothing there. And again, just showing the directory. There's that. I guess I'll leave it all up. I was going to clear it. Now, go ahead and do git push. Git push will take all of our commits, and it should upload it to the thing. Before you do that, I should have quickly done this. So it's going to ask you for your username. This is where you're going to type in your username. Let me just show you quickly, and then this is going to ask you for your password. It's not actually going to be the password. It's going to be that token. So let me find my token real quick. Let me just show you. So I have my token. I've copied it, and now I'm pasting it here. And as soon as I paste my thing, it gives it the access. It gives it the authority to. And now it pushes everything. So if we go back to the browser, I can show you. We click on test branch, and now we have data.txt and data of everything.txt. So again, just to show how to get to that thing, go to settings, and then you're going to go scroll down here to developer settings, and then click on personal access tokens. Now this is very important for security. Like, this is only for you or for whoever should see it. It's a highly secure token. So I'm not going to click on mine just for now, but showing my thingy here. No, where did I put it? Here. Once you're here, you should be able to hit generate new token, and it should basically ask you for a name, and then there's a whole list, and I just went and clicked everything down the list. So you will need to generate a new token right now, so I'll give you guys a couple seconds to do that. So you just give it a name, and then I gave this token access to all those options. All those checkboxes it shows. Is everyone following so far?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm good.
All right.
Yes.
All right, and then I should have mentioned this first. Don't click off the page. You want to copy that token. Oh, also it asks for an expiration. You can make it whatever expiration you want. But when it expires, you have to generate a new one. And you will only see this access token once. So make sure you don't click off it, copy it, and paste it somewhere safe. Because once you click off of it, it will disappear and you cannot access that token again. You will have to delete it and make a new one. So make sure you copy that somewhere safe, and let me know when you guys are good to do the git push. And so if you got it, I think you guys are probably good enough. You just type git push, and then it'll do what I just showed you there. It'll pull up a little prompt where you just type in your username, and then it'll ask you for the password. That's where you copy your access token and paste it there. And once you do that, it should push everything to GitHub. So let me know when you guys have successfully done that. As you do that, I'm just going to show you the differences. So again, in our directory of test branch here, there is that. And in our master branch, the production level, we only have these 4 files, or these 4 things. But yeah, so it's just like this. So if you have a one you're willing to delete to reclone, well, it's all saved in GitHub, right? So you can literally delete your whole folder and you should be fine because it's all saved onto GitHub, right? That's the whole point of GitHub. So
okay.
So you should be fine unless you have changes that are only on your local machine, right? You don't want to delete those changes, but if everything's up to date, you can delete just one of the repos and then you can go ahead and reclone it just to try. But either way, I mean, once you cloned it, everything else will be the same.
Yeah, originally I see what you meant. I was logged into my actual computer Git. It was like all the system folders and everything. But I logged into my actual GitHub account. So now if I do git log, it shows me the actual folders I have and the projects I did.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So all this would be the similar things, just either you have the repo or you don't. It'll be all very similar where you add files, change files, delete files, folders, etc., data, whatever data, and then you stage them, you add them to the staging area with that command, git add, and then you commit those changes. Those changes get committed to the repo on your local machine, and then after that, that's when you do git push.
Push, yeah.
Right. I guess the only difference being we're working in a different branch at the moment, so I can show you how to merge branches and how to get you
merge.
used to that. So.
Because with the Eclipse, I used Eclipse, and it was kind of like it was a GUI, but you still had to do these like what is it? Commit, stage, commit, and then you would see it on the bottom, and then you'd write a message like the init, and then we'd press it. So the only part I remember I didn't merging, I think, is something I don't remember doing. So
Okay, yeah. So just again, to do the overview of branches, you have your master branch, right? That's your production level branch, which is just the branch that has all your code. And then when you want to work on it, you don't want to work on the master branch, right? You don't want to break anything. You don't want to accidentally mess it up, right? So that's why you create a separate branch, and then that's where you can go free to do whatever you want, delete things, change things, add things, like whatever, and it won't mess up anything. Only when you're ready, and once, when you're working in the team or an industry, once the head has looked over all your code, then they're ready, right, to merge it, to make sure there's no conflicts, it all works, and that when you merge it, right, the production gets updated to that new version with those updates, right?
okay, so everyone's working on their own. Okay.
Right. So that's kind of all we've done so far is we just have this test branch, and that's where we just added a file to show the difference. So you can see here in our test branch, we have 2 more text files as to opposed to our master branch.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Right. So I'm just going to continue. So hopefully we've all pushed our stuff to our branch. So now go ahead and switch back to the master branch, doing git switch master. And you can use the directory command to show, to see what the differences are in your repos. And then with that, we are just going to do the command. Let me bring those commands up again. We are going to do just in the master branch, we're going to do git merge and then type the branch name. So we're going to merge test branch 1 with our master branch. So I'll give you guys a sec to make sure. So again, we're in the master branch. Now we're typing git merge of the branch name we're going to merge. Any questions? All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit the magic button. I hit enter. Boom, merge made. Successful. So now we've added that one file. We've inserted data.txt and data of everything.txt. So we've made those 2 file changes, 2 insertions, etc. If we click directory, we see that those files are now there. And yeah, so let's go ahead and check. So if we go back through the browser, again, our master branch is here because we have not pushed those changes yet, but we merged, and just checking our test branch, remember, so we have those 2 files, going back to master, and I believe the last thing we do now is git push. And since we're pushing now, we merged, now we're going to push all these changes of the merge to there. So again, I'm going to type in my username, grab that access token key that hopefully you have copied somewhere, or saved somewhere, copy that guy, paste it, boom. Now we have pushed everything, so as soon as I reload, we have successfully merged, and it says merge. Oh, well, anyway, it shows that we've done that, and so now we are all good.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I guess I'll wrap it up here. Were there any last minute questions or issues? Was everyone able to follow successfully?
Yep.
Yeah, I was able to follow him fine.
Cool. I think that will wrap it up for the GitHub then. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. So thank you.